Annemarie is here. Now, she's not a normal interviewer, she's actually 50% co-owner or co-written this whole thing that we started. You know, just she happened to get sick by a inconvenient roommate, we'll call it. You know, that just wasn't doing the right thing. You know, but it took a few weeks for her to get in there, but always, just want to let everybody know, it was always going to be me and Annemarie doing this, because she made a great point when we were first talking about doing this, was me doing the male point of view and what I'm going through, and then like any other male out there, we're not thinking about the other one, and there's things that she goes through that I wouldn't be going through, and she's going to hopefully be coming and explain all that. And I'll just want to get into how we first met, if that was all right?
Yep, absolutely.
What happened is I came into the nursing home here, Arrow Bay. It was Laurel Bay back then, and it was my first 2 weeks here. I was under like a real bad depression. You know, I lost my daughter, my wife, 90% of my property, everything. And then like on top of that, I got in a huge fight with my brother. So like him and my sister didn't talk to me for like another 6 months after that. So I was like totally by myself at the bottom. It couldn't get any lower or lower. Until one day I was sitting in a room and I was sorting my cards, just like trying to keep someone busy. And I heard like a knock at the door. And that's when Annemarie rolled up, and I still remember it crystal clear to this day. She was like, "Hello," and I believe he said to me years ago, "Are you from around here?" You know, it's the first thing she said. I was like, "Yeah, my name's Tim, I'm from Highlands." And the thing that really, I think, helped the connection for us to be like real good friends was she was on dialysis. You know, and there wasn't a person anywhere near me in this facility that could relate to anything I was going through. You know, like I could try to explain. At that point, I was tired of just explaining it. You know, I was like, "Dude, I got AIDS." You know what I mean? At that point, it was just, I was sick and tired of explaining what I had. You know, but for the first time since I was sick, I finally found somebody that could relate to what I was going through. And like, we became real good friends. It was like, you know, she at the time would do the Mondays, Wednesdays, and Friday schedule. I was on the Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So we could kind of check in on each other. You know, like make sure you came home, make sure you eat, make sure you got your rest, make sure you got everything done you needed before. And some days it was just a simple hello.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just hi, you know, like I was being seen, you know what I mean? And that meant a lot, you know, like I didn't like really understand all that, like back then, or maybe when I first got sick, how bad it was going to get. Like this is a disease that you can like disappear in, and it happens a lot. But after that, you know what I mean, it grew, you know what I mean? And like, she came up with the idea one day. I was like, you know, what about doing a podcast about it? She said, well, I want to do one of my niece. You know, she got all happy about it. I was like, you know, I could just see you can just see the potential, or not potential, but like the interest in it. You know, and it really caught my eye. Like I really started to dwell. I was like, it's not that fucking idea. I was like, you know, I really think about it. We got the best view in the house. You know what I mean? It's like, ain't nobody gonna tell us any different about this. And then the other good point she made too, which really convinced made me want to do this, is like we can reach a lot of people out there. Like, how many people were quiet, not saying anything?
And social media is key now.
Yeah, you're right. And she was like, you know, when we were first talking about it, she was like TikTok, YouTube, you know, had all the ideas, you know. And then in my head, I thought, I was like, you know what? I gotta make the announcement now that she's also the main content creator. So like 90% of the content you're gonna see go through here is gotta be either approved or made by you, right? I mean, it's the way it goes.
Yeah.
She's talented like that, and then like my talent is like behind the scenes stuff, like getting everything we need to do to put it out there, you know. And I could just see like when the idea she was coming up with, like you came up with, well, why don't you interview your daughter? Or I can interview your daughter about how it was. I never thought of that, and it's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like Emily would be like, and then like she was also talking about, you know, interviewing her boyfriend Chris. You know, like how, you know, just how much it means to be there for a person in a situation like this. Like a lot of people don't understand that. That's like 90% of the problem you can hear from anybody is just a self-isolation. But Annemarie was key to bringing all this in, you know, and like really sparked the fire to me to get it started. I mean, it took a while to get everything going, you know, get all the equipment, to get the logistics of her here. This is her first day coming back to nursing home, just to film, you know, the videos and stuff we have to film. And she's gonna get into what she's gonna be filming for you too. But I'm gonna turn it over to Annemarie right now so she can fill you in about everything about her and get to know her. You know, so I'm gonna step back a little bit, and Annemarie,
Alright.
it's all yours.
Hi everybody and my dialysis warriors. Gotta give a shout out to you guys. Yeah, like Tim explained, I was sick from a fellow roommate. I'm still also in a nursing home, just a different facility, but we all know how these places run. They're all the same.
Just different names.
Just, yeah, exactly, just different names. Now, I'm very sarcastic, but I was actually just explaining to my boyfriend Chris, give a shout out to him. I'm going to be speaking a lot about him. And then you guys eventually will get to meet him. And smiling keeps you young, you know, you gotta laugh about it. Like, yeah, this is going to be real life stuff, or shit, as I might say a couple too many curse words.
That's
but,
alright though, I mean, we're not for children now, so we're good with that.
So, I was like, we gotta laugh about it too, you know, you gotta stay positive, like, cause I walk in a lot of times into our dialysis center. We now are on the same schedule, so it's pretty awesome. So, we're trying to get a point of view from the center, so we're just waiting on permission for that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
And they actually been pretty
So,
cool. They were
yeah,
open
yeah.
to it. I thought they were gonna hit us with all kinds of no, and that. They were pretty fucking open. You know?
Yeah, so we're gonna have like, you're gonna see a lot.
You don't see
Like
that
this
a lot.
content we
Yeah.
have is gonna be phenomenal, so.
Yeah.
And it's, like we said, I think dialysis needs to be talked about more, because like, the first time I told my boyfriend that I was on dialysis, he didn't even know what that meant. He didn't even know what dialysis was, so like, even explaining it to people, like, pretty much, I have to live off a machine, you know?
Yeah.
You get it, like, that's what's keeping us alive.
And a lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
Like a lot of people, I'm not downgrading cancer, but like you hear cancer, you think chemo, you know, it's getting, somebody's dying, you know. Dialysis needs to be brought up again a lot more, and we're even trying to maybe even start getting like support groups going.
Yeah.
So shout out, even if you're from a different state. Right now I'm talking to this guy on TikTok actually from Florida. He has a non-profit organization, and he even said he wants to try and get support groups going out in Florida. And I told him maybe we could get together and do it like statewide, like if he knows people, like the more it's talked about, the better.
And something like that too, I think would be great too, because at least once or twice a month, people like us can get out around normal people where it's not a doctor's visit. It's not a dialysis session.
Yes.
I mean, you're going to communicate with friends. Which I
Right.
think is a very, very important thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because like even like I actually I follow a bunch of people on TikTok now. While I was sick, I started doing a lot of research about like vitamins I should take, the food I should be eating. I bought some tea that's supposed to help my kidneys. I'm just waiting on to get my labs results to see if it's working. But I have been starting to feel better. I've been starting going to the bathroom more, you know, which is good for us because it's waste getting out.
Yeah, that's something too. I would like to eventually put in the comment is how many people out there have actually gone through that, where they've gone through a period of no urination and then go into a period where you're urinating like normal, like, you know, what's going on?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
Why is
right.
that happening? You know, and I think like we were saying it the other day, and I was like, you know, I thought the same thing too, because I went for like almost 3 months without urinating, but then now it's like I'm like, wait a minute, like I'm waking up every 4 hours or something, going to the bed, and it's a good amount.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
I'm like, wow, I'm like, all right. You know, I'm just curious if that's something that happens to people. You know, I've been on dialysis 5 years, so I had the on and off spurts, but if that's normal or not. You know?
Right. Well, I still told you I stopped urinating
Yeah,
too for a while, yeah.
And then
But-
when you said you did, started again, I was like, that was weird, but then like,
I do have a comment to make for fellow dialysis warriors. Now, I don't have a fistula, I have a graft, but I'm only shouting this out right now because it's happening soon. So, like, you guys viewing this, if you can comment, if you've ever had to have your graft replaced, because I think it's been shut for too long. Because when I went to get the surgery, I happened to be sick because our lovely compromised immune systems.
yeah,
And my oxygen level was 88, so they didn't feel comfortable putting me under anesthesia, which I totally understood after sitting in the doctor's office for 7 hours.
yeah.
But you know, we can all relate to that. So
You're
I
okay.
go May 26th to get my surgery. So I was just curious if anyone got their graft replaced, like, do they have to put it in like a different spot? Because right now mine's up here. I can even show you guys actually. Right there, if you guys see that. But if I have to get it replaced,
I'll be sure to zoom in for you.
okay. If I have to get it replaced, like, do they put it in the same spot, or does it have to be moved? So I'm just a little worried about that because I'm not sure how. Because then I know it's gonna. Because right now I'm using a catheter, which we all know is a pain in the ass because we cannot shower, and it is driving me crazy. Because at home, when I'm at home, like at the nursing home, you get 2 shower days a week. Even though I go in the shower, I'm not on my shower days because I like to shower. I'm a woman. Even men, they need to shower every day.
Yeah.
Like, it's human nature. So, but at home, I take like 5 showers a day. So, my mom always used to be like, Annemarie, you're gonna run the water bill up. Sorry, Mom. Makes me feel better though, because I didn't have pain medication, but right now I'm on pain medication. Because honestly, I've been on dialysis since July of 2023. Then, as soon as I got on dialysis, about like 2 or 3 months into it, I didn't really know much about the dialysis because, unfortunately, I was going through some troubled times.
We all have it. It happens to the best of us.
You know, between mental illness, I'm also an addict, but we'll get into that in another
That's
episode.
just the big thing that you should really tap on. She's a big supporter of, and I never really thought of it until she said, like, the mental health awareness.
Yeah,
When you first get on dialysis,
because it's a huge lifestyle change, you know?
life changes. You know,
It is, it's weird. You don't even feel like yourself.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
That first